Yeah, man. I didn't have already explored. It's gonna get to like 6:30. You know what? Oh my gosh. Yo, let's go. I'm doing it right now.
Dang, it got cold real quick when I got outside. Man, bro, I remember I took out my jacket and it was like, ooh, it was a breeze. And then after when I came in here, how good.
Just watching cartoon.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Cheeseburger?
That's what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is, a cheeseburger.
I can get it to. I'll make him stand up there a little bit.
We might go, either way, I think we might go to Burger King today with me and Cooper.
What class do you have?
Fifth hour, algebra 2.
About ways of nominating.
I don't know if you'll make it back in time.
Yeah, you'll be late.
What was the first method?
Be late.
You don't want tardy slip. Unless you want to be late.
So how long is it from here to Burger King?
Well, you go there, like 4 minutes.
How about we go there, and then we come back up right away.
Order our food.
Yeah, we order the food and then we come back right away.
You'll be late, Jacob.
Kind of discuss that. What is the second form of nomination this year? Caucus. What is a caucus?
It was like a group of people, right?
It's a group of influential individuals getting together saying,
We want this.
this is who we want to run. Then we have conventions. How did the conventions work?
It's like a group of people who want to run.
And at the local level, you pick delegates to go to the county level. They pick delegates to go to the state level. They pick delegates to go to the national level. And so it's from the bottom up, they're all selecting somebody.
You've already done these notes.
They
What?
You've already done
pick
these.
somebody after.
No, I'm actually writing down the date.
Oh.
I'm writing down the date. Yeah.
Our fourth, and the way we do it today is direct primary. And that leads us to our spell work. What is the difference between a closed primary and an open primary?
A closed primary is like you can only vote for Republicans if you're Republican, and an open is you vote for whoever you want.
Sure.
With a closed, you can only vote for the party that you're registered as, and an open, you can pick whatever party you want. So if you're an independent, can you vote in a closed primary?
No. Our country's good.
No, because it's
But you know the thing is that she's gonna be our first woman
the
president.
last one was
The
petition.
first woman president.
Candidates for public office that are nominated by means of petition signed by a certain required number of qualified voters in the election district. I know this is
So he could take.
Huh? I bought one in like August. I don't know if he did. Huh?
I hate school.
Maybe that's a scrap.
Can you call?
You sure?
Okay, alright. Yes. Sir.
Okay, so petition, you write out a thing saying, I want this person to appear on the ballot. And then you gotta have so many signatures, depending on the size of the state. and then that measure gets put on the ballot.
I can drop this off in this minute. I was supposed to put that in my card out, yeah. I'm supposed to put it.
He's going to the library.
He's got a track record of doing that.
Well, he's from Brooklyn, it says Smith on it, so.
Which he's
He's
a
master
smooth
manipulator.
criminal.
Well, it's like that Michael Jackson song now. Smooth criminal.
Like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Hunter's no, bro. He's Michael Redhead.
So with the petition, some petitions are usually used for getting measures on the ballot, and not exactly people. So a lot of the propositions that are on the ballot in this election might have come from a petition being formed, getting signatures. I feel like the legalization of marijuana was a petition measure.
Wasn't Colorado like the first? And then
Get some
everybody else
nurses
just
in
followed
there.
them.
There's some boys.
I can't remember.
Bro, you're not even in this
I
country.
know Colorado was first.
My bad. Really?
So now that we
I do.
have nominated candidates, how do we go about holding
What's the worst he
Democratic government cannot succeed without free, honest, and accurate elections.
You don't want to know.
That is the whole
I'm just trying to put that.
selling point of democracy,
Hold on. Give me a drug test.
is that people are elected in office and not just
Bro,
put in office.
Show up for the drug test.
Nearly all elections in the United States are held to choose, I don't know why.
nah, bro. Hunter ain't gonna get 100% on his spirit test. He's gonna get a negative 100%.
To fill offices at the state level.
Hope to shoes. How late was it when you made?
Oh, really?
Hope to
Rather than just 10 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock in the morning, so.
10's not even late.
But when you wake up at 4:30 up to 11, it does get pretty late.
Go sleep earlier and wake up later.
Are you
Why do you wake up at 4:30?
Why are you up till 11?
We're around 6 in the morning,
Why are you up till 11?
working on this.
Oh.
I
We're
think
timing
we don't
in.
have enough time in the day to do everything I have to do.
Just chat GPT.
You can make them during our class and then like we can just.
Yeah, we'll help you out with it.
Dude, imagine
Yeah, if you
imagine,
made them during our class, we can just follow along with.
dude, imagine sleeping in the afternoon.
That'd be a lot more.
Yeah, sleeping. Sometimes that's nice.
Alright, so given this fact, it is understandable that most election law in the United States is state, not federal. What are the few examples of federal law that we have for elections?
What'd you say?
So anything in under, I don't have one for you guys.
Takes a
You don't have
So, but for you,
Yeah, I don't know
No.
why. What did the phone do? I thought it was fine, but not having a phone.
well, and some teachers want to use stuff, but.
So that we both know you. Like for 2 days and you're like, no, I don't want to go.
It's used to all my
So-
tests. Well, 90% of the time, students didn't have their Chromebooks. so they
Exactly.
charged.
I wasn't saying.
And so I couldn't do it.
I'm just saying, that's how you do it.
One.
My bad.
So the
Maybe text
federal
a couple days
level,
at a time. And never.
they passed certain laws, all in to protect the right to vote and the right to privacy. So we have all the stuff that we talked about before. You can't discriminate based on sex, age, religion. You can't put a tax on voting. You can't discriminate due to race. Those are all at the national level. And they had to be put at the national level because there are certain states that were trying to make it where people of certain creeds, races, colors, religions weren't able to vote. You have 6 more weeks to get through.
6.
What did we get for Christmas?
It's like a month and a half.
I feel like the second week. I'm not sure with dating.
Well, the Thursday's the 12th.
The 12th then?
The Thursday's the 12th.
Probably 12th.
That's the week after. That was like the 16th or 20th, something like that.
That was last year. And then, but like this year, we'll right back into January.
So it'll have to be like this.
No.
How does this come back?
I had a week
I
off.
feel like in the car, my legs so
Oh, yes. Get them later.
I was like,
The
what?
U.S. presidential elections have become a spectacle for people in America and
We can finally relax.
every 4 years. The
Sorry.
American people choose their next president through a seemingly simple process. But the truth is actually much more complex than it appears. Does the popular vote determine the president? Is it the Electoral College that decides? How is the President of the United States elected? Before a U.S. president can be elected, candidates need to go through a process that is referred to as the primary elections and caucuses. The main difference between the primary elections and caucuses is that the latter is run by state parties. Meanwhile, the former is controlled by state government. In state primary elections, voters cast their ballots, much like in the general election, in favor of who they want to be the party's nominee. Who can vote in these primaries depends on whether it is an open or closed primary state. In an open primary state, both party voters and unaffiliated voters can cast their ballots. In a closed primary state, only those who are registered to the specific party are able to vote for a nominee. In contrast with the primary process, the caucuses occur quite differently. State parties essentially hold meetings, usually lasting a few hours, and at the end, take a vote amongst the attendees to see which potential nominee is preferred. The primaries tend to attract a wider demographic of voters due to the less time-consuming structure and easier way of voting, whereas the caucuses tend to only attract voters who are very strongly politically involved. Still, some states choose a caucus over a state-funded primary because it allows the state party to pick their own voting date and general rules. Either way, both the primaries and the caucuses begin at the start of an election year and play a significant role in determining each party's nominee for the actual presidential race. The results of the pre-election proceedings play a direct part in the decision that each party makes as to who will be their official candidate for the presidential race. Generally, the number of votes that each candidate receives will decide the delegates that are chosen to attend the party's national convention. At the national convention, these delegates do a final formal vote to determine the party nominee. The vote should ordinarily reflect the candidate who received the highest number of votes from the primaries and caucuses. But if there was no clear winner from the earlier method, then the delegates will pick the nominee themselves. Once both parties pick their nominees, the real presidential race begins. Of course, the Democratic and Republican parties are not the only political parties allowed to be involved in the United States elections, but they are the two main parties, and the minor parties, such as the Libertarian and Green parties, rarely have any relevance in American elections. Subsequently, once nominees are chosen, most of the country begins to decide whether they will vote in favor of the Democrats or the Republicans. Candidates will host rallies and other events, make TV commercials, and blaze the campaign trails during this time. As the election draws near, the Democratic and Republican candidates will also participate in a series of debates, as will their vice presidential running mates whom they had chosen back at the national conventions. These debates are televised nationally and give the American voters a chance to see both options answer hard questions about their politics and plans should they win the White House. Finally, Election Day rolls around every 4 years on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November. Although many people wait to cast their ballots in person on this day, numerous states have options for early voting, whether it be in person or mail-in ballots. So technically, voting can begin a while before the actual election day. And as demonstrated in the 2020 election, ballot counting can last well beyond election night. In terms of how voting works, that is where things can get additionally complicated due to the Electoral College. Many people are under the assumption that the candidate who wins the popular votes, meaning the one who has the most ballots cast in support of them, actually wins the election and becomes the next president of the United States. While that seems like a valid assumption, it is actually incorrect. The popular vote does matter, but really only to a certain extent. A presidential candidate wins not through the votes of the people alone, but through the accumulation of 270 or more electoral votes. This is where the Electoral College comes into play. The Electoral College is made up of a group of electors split amongst all 50 states and Washington, D.C. The number of electors that each state holds is determined by the number of members that state has in Congress. California, for example, has 55 electors, whereas Alaska only has 3. As for who becomes an elector, the rules for those selections also vary by state. Furthermore, the laws that determine how electors must vote also comes down to what state governments decide, as the Constitution fails to cover this. In D.C. and 48 states, all but Nebraska and Maine, the electors must vote in favor of whoever wins the state's popular vote. For that reason, when the ballot tallying begins, we will see each individual state counting their own ballots and determining whether their citizens went red or went blue. This is why some states, such as California again, are referred to by many as a blue state. It simply means that the popular vote in those states almost always, if not always, goes in the direction of the Democratic Party. This process is also why many Republican voters in predominantly Democratic states and vice versa often feel that their votes do not count. Still, the nationwide popular vote is counted, even if it is more or less pointless, because winning the popular vote will not give a candidate the presidency. A perfect example of this came in 2016. When Hillary Clinton won the popular vote around 66 million to around 63 million. But Donald Trump beat her in the electoral vote, which came to 304 to 227. In the case that no candidate receives a majority of electoral votes, the House of Representatives would choose the next president, while the Senate would choose their vice president. Although this did happen in the 1800 presidential election, the 12th Amendment had not yet been created, which made the situation slightly different. At that time, the winner of the electoral vote would become president, and the runner-up would be their vice president. When Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr tied in 1800, it put all the power in the hands of the House of Representatives. Seeing the flaw in their system, the states decided to split the power between both sections of Congress through the 12th Amendment. Jumping back to the modern-day election process, it technically does not end after the events of Election Day, even though, due to the state laws, we essentially know how the states and D.C. will cast their electoral votes. It technically does not happen until mid-December. Additionally, any recounts or court disputes concerning the results of the election at a state level must be resolved before the electors cast their official votes. At the start of January, Congress comes together to count the electoral votes, and assuming that one candidate reaches the minimum winning number of 270, the President of the Senate formally announces who will be the new President of the United States. Inauguration Day then falls on January 20th by the Constitution, which specifies that a president's term begins at exactly noon on January 20th after each election. The ceremony is presided over by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and is usually attended by any living former presidents as the outgoing president welcomes the president-elect into the White House before the latter takes his oath of office. By 12 p.m. that day, the United States officially has its new president. Aside from the lengthy process of becoming the U.S. president, there are also a few requirements that determine who can even run for office. For one, the president must be a natural-born U.S. citizen. A citizen alone will not qualify if they were not born in the United States. A second requirement is the age of the president. It must be a minimum of 35 years old. They also must be a resident of the United States for a minimum of 14 years. These qualifications were laid out by the Constitution back before George Washington took office and remain the same over 200 years later. Although some minor details of the election process has changed over time, as well as the ratifying of the 12th Amendment, the method of electing a U.S. president has stayed fairly consistent due to its inclusion in the Constitution. The road to the White House has never been as simple as it appears to be at first glance to some, but it serves as a thorough and effective process nonetheless. Currently, there is some debate as to whether the Electoral College should be reformed or even eradicated, allowing the popular vote to directly elect each new president alone. But since the existence of the electoral votes was established by the Constitution, another amendment would be required, and more support for the idea would be needed. Still, only time will tell what the future holds for how a U.S. president is elected.
Alright. So how do we get a new president?
Electoral.
Electoral vote. Why do you think it's electoral vote instead of popular vote?
Cause,
Who does the president represent? He represents both the people and the organization that is the United States. So these states all want equal representation, or as much representation as they can. What would happen if we went based solely on a popular vote?
then states like California would have a lot more votes than like the rest.
The states like California and New York determine
So they can.
counties every single year, right? States like Wyoming, Alaska, that have some of the small populations wouldn't have any representation in the president. That's
Hey,
why we
Cooper.
have the electoral process.
Think if we can go to like,
So for every
Dollar General?
state representative
Okay.
and every state
We go to
senator,
Dollar General today?
you get one vote.
Okay.
In 48 states in the District of Columbia, it is the majority vote, so whoever gets the majority votes gets all of the electoral points. In Nebraska and Maine, it goes off of the points of that region. It's split up into 3 districts, and each one can vote independently of the other.
What states divide the electoral votes by?
Nebraska and Maine. And surprisingly, in like Nebraska, they actually get a lot of minor party votes and stuff like that. And so there's actually been situations where a minority party gets one electoral vote because Nebraska. Maine is usually divided between Republican, Democrat. Maine's more Democrat, but Nebraska leans Republican, is more center.
And that's based on population. Or, no.
Well,
Never mind.
so the minimum number of electoral votes you can have is 3, because you always have 2 senators, and you'll have at least 1 representative. So all the small states all have 3. What was the biggest one that we saw up there?
55.
55 in California, right?
Freaking California.
Is that able to change how many electoral votes a state has? How's over there, Mr. Dunn?
How many people are in the state?
So if there's a mass exodus out of New York or out of California, then the electoral power they have decreases because people are moving elsewhere.
Don't they have to all agree? All of them agree on one.
So
It goes off of the census, so every 10 years they redo the numbers.
I know they all have to agree on one president though. All 55 voters.
No, it goes, whoever is the majority vote.
Oh, of
So
all.
if half the state wants one, then the entire 55 goes to them.
California also recently, they had a lot of people in Russia. I think they recently had. And it's not-
well,
I know that.
it's those dang communists.
In California has lost a couple, because everybody's moving to Texas and Florida. And so now Texas has a little bit more electoral power than they used to.
No, but when you realize we're in countries in the same position, look, in that same position.
And the reason why is because there's a lot of centrists to right-leaning people that have had their voices just covered by the big city Democrats for so many years that they've found fed up with high gas prices, high mortgage prices, and all that stuff. People physically can't live in California anymore, so they're moving out. Like Austin, Texas is like.
No, man, I'm getting
the
quite hungry. Are you getting hungry?
Sanctuary. of Texas.
Kinda.
Oh,
So if you ever want to move to Texas, come. All right.
the moment you want to go to lunch, but it's only
So as we're
11:30.
administering the elections, the date for federal elections was set by Congress to be the first Tuesday following the first Monday in November. Very odd date, right?
It kind of makes sense, like, they don't want it to be November 1st, or like 6 of them.
Well, there's a couple reasons they didn't be the first of the month. Mainly because that's when a lot of people back in the day get paid on the first of the month. And so they could use that paycheck to kind of force people to vote a certain way. And then they never wanted to wind up on a Sunday. And so they picked a Tuesday. Most states hold their elections for state offices the same day they set federal elections. And so instead of having to hold an election day for state offices, and then a month later hold an election day for the national office, they just said, we'll have it all on one day. And goodbye in trouble. So in setting the date for election, Congress wanted to avoid the day falling on a Sunday to maintain the principle of separation of church and state. But I also included that. I don't know if they were there, so.
What was that BTP?
Who was it last week that didn't know what
Hunter.
I wonder if he's sleeping.
He's sleeping on the job.
Just pour water on him, wake him up.
Tommy's a redhead and he'll wake up.
I think he already knows that.
I feel like he's not supposed to pour water on.
Let's. What if we take his watch?
That's illegal. Cooper had a good idea to wake him up.
Pour water on him.
That's what I said. It's illegal.
I said it second.
Well, it's not illegal when you grab Hunter's stuff.
I think it is.
Alright, so a
It
ballot
It is.
is the device by which a voter registers their choice in election. So those of you who are able to vote, yeah, you got to bring in my sample ballot. Tomorrow, if you haven't voted already, go and they'll give you a piece of paper, or
Your vote
you're
matters.
going to a electronic.
when do you have to
depending
vote?
on
Tomorrow.
At the register.
How fancy we are.
Yeah,
But when my ma-
probably won't vote.
Dude, but I'm at.
Hey, your vote counts, Roman.
I know.
Your voice matters.
What you know? What doesn't matter? Underage people.
Yeah,
So our ballots can take a number of different forms. Each
So what?
state now provides what's called a secret ballot. Or our ballots are cast in a way that others don't know how the person voted. In most states, it's just, there's a booth that you go into mark down your choices in your own privacy, and then you leave. You'll seal it inside the booth, and then you'll leave, hand it to a poll worker, or turn it into a drop box.
Don't you then get a sticker that says I voted?
Then you get a sticker that says,
I wish I could vote so I could keep that sticker.
I'll give
Me
it to you
too.
tomorrow.
Really? Thanks.
Where do they vote at? Like, where did you vote at?
They have a poll office in the UPR, so I'm gonna show up for work and just go vote.
How early can you vote?
If you haven't
I
registered,
believe they open at 6 or something.
I'm gonna go black.
like if I haven't registered yet, when would I have to register to be able to vote tomorrow?
I think the deadline to register was October 7th,
Oh, yeah, I'm
Make
alright.
names dressing different.
but I turned it today.
Mhm.
When after assembly.
It's you gotta disguise yourself, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I was
disguise
under
yourself
18.
and you get more votes.
Well, I didn't.
Are you
Well,
registered for the
maybe if you.
For what?
selective service?
Well, I have a great
I
idea.
think so.
You gotta register.
Dude, you're going to jail.
Like you have to.
All males aged 18 to
Take a pill for
25.
Where did you
I thought it was like
where did you do that at?
My dad told me like the law changed, now girls can get drafted, and I was like, I swear this is still a law, it's trying to get a law, but it's not yet, and I looked it up, and he just lied.
He's just trying to scare you.
Dude, imagine there's a pill for to lose an age, to lose, like,
Just go back 1 year.
go back 1 year, yeah.
Because,
Dude, that means you won't go to jail anymore because you're underage.
yep.
And it's all males aged 18 to,
Wait, like where do you do that at?
you can do it on.
Like do you like have to? But like how long? Cause I didn't know I had to.
I can't remember how long it is. I feel like it's, as long as you get it done before you graduate high school. I mean, they're really not like looking into it.
I hope you get
And that's
drafted.
World War III breaks out.
I might just
Figure
drop
out
out
that
of
you can try to draft guy.
Yeah, bro, he's turned red.
But
His whole
we don't
skin's
really
turned
draft
red.
anymore because we have such a massive military that we don't really have the need to do that.
I hope I get
And
drafted.
now that our military is all kind of automated and not really based
Imagine
on
being a
personnel. So if war breaks out, it's a war of using missiles and not dudes in jail anymore.
Guys,
Yeah. I hope I get drafted. That'd be that low.
guys, be honest. Do I go too far with Hunter?
Sometimes.
Like take his like the one time I took his watch.
You took his watch?
Took his watch.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you just said you did.
I didn't. I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Why'd you say you did?
Because
Just joking.
I was joking. Yeah.
You should take it back there. Just grab it.
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm joking.
I was joking as well.
Okay.
And you know the thing is that I don't want to be here in the first place.
Oh yeah, who does? Not this guy.
Me, not me.
July.
So there are two ways to cast a ballot in the state of Arizona. So in Arizona, we're looking at how Arizona votes. There's in-person voting.
July 7th. What a goofy birthday.
Wait, did you say his birthday's in July?
July 7th.
Hey, my birthday's in July.
Then you got the same month as a ginger?
Yeah,
Dang.
When's your birthday?
July 29th.
Dang. That stinks.
No, we'll talk about that.
Okay, you
July
have
is
to-
for cool people.
Yeah,
See-
July was cool for cool people, not you.
Bro, imagine being born in October.
That would suck. I got a lot.
What do you mean that'll suck? October is the best month to have a birthday.
Boys.
Oh, didn't. I got September 11th.
And my mom's birthday's in October.
You are? No, September 6th.
Dude, Owen, my mom's birthday's in October.
And
Yeah,
this method, the
no.
voter is present at a polling place set by the voting district. It usually occurs on the election day, but Arizona permits early voting. I believe it's 2 or 3 weeks before election day, you can go in and vote in person. But it's usually you have to go to the county office to vote. And so voters are able to vote almost a month before the election in most areas. And this is intended to make voting more accessible for those with limited time and to ease the ballot counting process for the state. Instead of having everybody's vote being counted on November 5th, they can spread out from October, can't remember when it started. I don't remember if I put it in here or not.
So the early votes counted already?
They should be. So in order to vote in Arizona, you must be registered to vote. You can do this at a government office or online. When registering, the person can choose which party they want to identify with for primary voting purposes. And this choice is not permanent, it can be changed at any time. So. In Arizona, identification is required in order to vote in person.
Ooh.
This
50
can be
more
in the form of a
minutes
valid driver's license or identification
Can't wait.
card
for lunch.
or
I want
two photo ID that has a person's name and address. For example, utility bill dated within 90 days before the election.
Because this class is
A valid Arizona
boring.
vehicle registration, driver's census card, property tax statement, or the voter registration ID card issued by the county report.
You need all
Yeah.
of that?
Hug a ginger day.
So if you have
Oh,
a
that
valid
would-
driver's
that's
license
a-
or a valid.
What a day that would be.
Oh.
If not, then you have to have one of those two. Or two of those. So a utility bill and.
When it's National Sons Day and you're adopted. When it's
This is-
National Sons
so
Day and
this
you're
one-
adopted.
The driver's license or your state issued ID has your picture, your name, your address.
So
So
like,
if you bring in a thing that says, my name's Hunter Luce, or actually it's Jeffrey, it has your picture
Ooh,
and your
Jeffrey.
address,
Jeffrey Hunter.
then they can go off of their database.
What a
See
name that would
you
be.
Match the picture on
Name,
the card and your name
Jeffrey.
matches.
What's up, Jeffrey?
Right?
okay, wait. So if you don't have your driver's license or an ID, then you have to
Call him
Then you have to
look for a utility.
Yes, Jeffrey.
Look like.
Well,
claims and-
Ideally, this is for people that,
Can you just bring in your birth certificate?
That's a lot.
I think that's one of the ways you can, but it has to have your address. So you put your address. Like
I'm
there's.
still recording.
there's-
Yeah.
Right now, you're recording right now?
Yeah. You don't own anything.
Well, in most cases, like, even though there's not a driver's license, parents that still let their kids go around places, they can have a identification card now. So even though there's not a driver's license, it's a name card. So in case something happens, then they can identify who you are.
Like military ID?
Military ID is a little bit different.
Like, well,
That would count, you could use that.
Everybody
as
was
part
kung
of
fu
your
fighting.
Two non-photo. I mean, that tells you that you're.
Hunter, you're not supposed to show anybody else's ID.
And so you still have to
Hunter, let me
have
see
your,
that.
your address.
No, show me the face.
I took it when I was like literally 8th grade, bro.
Okay,
I took
let's
this
see
in
it.
8th grade.
Let me see it.
Well, then that would be.
Hunter, you should not
Oh
show.
Lord, Hunter. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it,
It's
Hunter.
bad. Okay,
Let me see it, let me see it. 8th grade. Let me see it. Let me see it.
What's that?
Let me see it. Let me see it.
8th grade Hunter.
Oh Lord.
No, I want to see that.
8th grade me?
He looks exact.
Dude, I want to see that.
It's a little bit taller.
I want to see that.
Oh, wait, no, it's 8th grade. I remember your teeth.
Hmm?
Wait, no.
What?
Bro, you weren't even here.
You weren't even here in eighth
No,
grade.
no.
What are you talking about?
Nah, bro.
About sophomore?
What did Hunter look like when he was in 8th grade?
Gary. Michael.
What does that mean?
Nah, bro.
Gary.
Nah, bro. He never changed. He
Jeffrey Hunter.
dude, he never changed. He looks exactly the
Why are you
same.
tired?
You're retired? You're Philly.
My dad retired.
Your dad's retired?
Yeah.
Why?
He ain't filling up no more planes?
Was he medically
How old is
retired?
How old is your dad?
Was he, your dad was in the Air
Eighth
Force?
grade you? Dang.
Oh, I have a picture of 8th
Hey,
grade.
Hunter.
How old is your
Which one are
dad?
you, the middle? Maybe you could be the right.
Dang, that's too early to go retire. It's too early to retire. Dang.
You don't need to say that.
We don't need all that. Cool, bro. I'm gonna need that back.
I'm keeping these.
All right. Now we go on to mail-in voting. Arizona offers mail-in ballots or absentee voting.
Let me see.
Absentee voting. What's that?
So you're not gonna be
Oh,
present
dang.
for the day
Oh,
of voting.
Oh, Lord.
Are you taller than me? Are you taller than me? So like, someone votes
No,
for
we're the
you?
same. You're a little bit.
So she's gonna vote for me.
I don't think I have a picture of me in 8th grade. I have a picture of Look at Owen.
So my mom doesn't vote.
Oh, let's see that picture.
Hunter, were you chubby?
Because there's the paper each sign saying.
Wait a minute, I think I have a picture of me in.
I was on a diet of candy.
That's Owen.
I was 8, bro.
You don't have a hairline there either.
Alright, so this is an option for all registered voters. So if you'd rather do mail-in ballots.
This expires 2 years.
But what? Which one?
Year and a
In
half.
order to receive an
Oh, I'm
absentee
being-
ballot, you must
Oh,
opt in
oh.
and register it or request one.
Where in the what is my? Okay,
Again, this is
I was trying to find a picture of me in 8th grade, but I can't
Did I just stay home all day?
because I don't have my phone with me,
Like,
and I have to try to find it on my
You
Chromebook.
wish for what? And works for Raytheon?
So,
Thing, Hunter.
what does he do?
He's so he buys the parts to make the.
The missiles.
Yeah.
Oh. He just buys them?
Yeah, he was buying for
State
it.
officials.
Well,
that work
and
for the county.
he just like does logistics.
And so at the county, they have the recorder.
Never mind.
Hey,
I
we stayed
do
at
damn
home and
good.
watch movies. We watch a movie, he sends you one sometimes.
Oh. He's like, this is pretty cool.
Gotta go and get a
Good job.
Bro, I
Bad
bet.
job.
Bro, you know what kind of pie he eats? Irish pie. Irish. He eats
Potato pie.
What's an Irish pie?
a potato pie.
Shepherd's pie?
Yeah. You got some good pies in your area.
I know.
Like in my land.
Back in the day.
Well, why'd I call it an Irish pie? That's wild.
That's what you read.
I know.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
Yeah. It's my own. It's Jacob's way to say it.
Clever.
Wait, so you often did a mailing ballot? How you like to say, I said I'm gonna do that, and still didn't go?
Yeah, and you have to turn in your unfilled out ballot.
Why'd you stare at Cooper like he was like your worst enemy or something like
He
that?
stares at me like that. Kind of like it.
You're like
Why'd you throw it?
I felt like it.
plot twist. Owen's enemy is Cooper.
Who's your enemy?
I don't have no enemy.
It works.
It works out.
I think I'm looking at him.
Oh, he's not my enemy. He's just a bro.
Yep, he's just a bro.
Yeah.
Brother from another mother.
Yeah.
Would you vote? Would you vote?
That's my vote.
I appreciate it.
Only one vote. I get 3 votes in the next presidential.
Let's go another video.
I wonder how long's your dad been retired? 10 years?
I think we got done.
So no more notes?
Why does he have another job then if he's retired? Why does he have another job? He's retired.
No, if you retire from the military, you still need it.
Really?
Yeah, the military does give you. Like,
Do they give you money for retirement? Lil Hunter.
I don't even know what the coin.
Whatever picture you
What I hope it's Steve.
Yeah, I was born in California.
Before we get to the nitty gritty of how elections work in the US, might be a good time to ask a question that rarely is asked.
I was like,
Complex public referendums on individual issues, although some states have prejudice. So instead, we be represented. In other words, we vote for people, not policies. Elections are for business and for holding these representatives accountable to anyone's thought.
What?
What? Economists have a more complicated way of describing this in terms of adverse.
But you do love to
Take me back to that page.
okay, is this expired? Do I have to take the driver's test again?
My
driver's test.
The competition creates incentives for candidates.
What? Okay, whatever.
show your dog in.
Access denied.
Well, it's usually. They're supposed to get it
Oh,
Okay, well, like, so, the dude, he like.
okay. I found one. Come on.
He like put in like this guy.
Oh, yo, Roman. I found a picture of me in 8th grade. Right there. That was me in 8th grade.
Dang.
That was me in 8th grade right there. Or Cooper, this was me in 8th grade. See the little emo I looked? My hair was messy back then. Bro, I really was.
So,
Yeah, the Moise.
Oh my goodness, I have to.